Hi, and welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. I'm Narelle King, and in today's solo episode, I'll be sharing 5-minute makeovers you could achieve in an ad break. If you're wanting 21 more ideas, then download my 5-minute declutter ebook with more ideas to help you get started. Let's jump into today's solo episode. Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. I'm Narelle King, wellness and organisational coach and yin and nidra yoga instructor. This podcast will help you create more time using organisational strategies so that you can start to simplify your life and prioritise your health. I'll be sharing conversations with other health and organisational experts and solo episodes with tips to help you simplify your life and prioritise your health. Thanks for joining me for today's solo episode where I'm going to be sharing 5-minute makeover ideas that you could do in an ad break. So the benefits of clutter-free functional home is that you're going to have more time in your life. If you're always looking for things, can't find things, searching through things, you're wasting time. Whereas if you have homes for those items, you can easily go and find it and then also easily put things away. So this is also going to make things less overwhelming if you're able to find things really easily. And the last one is saves you money. I don't know the amount of clients that'll go into their homes and they'll have multiple items, but not intentionally have bought those to have in their home. It's because they couldn't find them. So they then went and bought it and then they found it and now they have two and maybe they're items that they actually don't need two. I'm a big believer in having items that are going to make it more functional, like multiple bins in your home. But when it comes to things like maybe a laminator, we possibly don't need two of those in our homes. Tips that are going to help you have organizing success in these different areas in your home is number one, make it fun. If it's not fun, who's going to want to do this? So if we can make it as fun as possible, gamify it, it is going to make it so much more motivating to actually do. The next one is organize for reasons that matter to you. So maybe it's around health. Maybe it's around the safety of the people living in the home. Maybe it's for comfort or happiness. Whatever it is, you need to be really clear on that reason because that's going to also motivate you. Keeping it simple. And that's why I'm sharing these 5-minute declutter makeover ideas because it's going to keep it really simple and get you started. When you start, the motivation builds and then you're ready to maybe tackle those bigger things, possibly like paperwork and setting up a paperwork system, which is generally the last thing that a lot of my clients work on. If we start with these small ones, then we can work up to that bigger project. Always subtract before adding things to your home. So it's such a great thing to declutter before we need to go out and buy storage solutions because maybe we don't even have the items anymore that we need to store because we've decluttered and we have less things. Another thing is to use a Time the Timer app, which will help you track. Another great idea is to use a song or music. So maybe it's like 2 motivating songs that are roughly around 5 minutes each, and there's 10 minutes, and then you might stop. I'm the type of person, ADHD, who will get hyper-focused and keep going, but I know I've worked with other people and 10 minutes may be their time limit. So work out for yourself what's a good amount of time and set that timer, or even using a timer just on your phone. The best thing about the timer is it shows red, so you can actually see the time ticking down. So that's why I recommend that one. Instead of rewarding yourself with purchases, which is a real problem because we're just then adding to the problem of more things in our home, maybe enjoy an experience, going out for a cup of tea with a friend maybe, or going on a walk, or it could be taking yourself to have a massage, something that you're going to enjoy and reward yourself. It could be that costs you money, but it may not either. My final tip for organizing success is your home exists to serve you, not you to serve your home. Let's jump into the decluttering ideas, 5-minute ideas. I've broken them down into different parts of the home so that you can work through the ones that actually suit you at the moment. So let's start in the kitchen. Inside your fridge door, you could take out, discard any expired items, clean, and then put them back in. The next one is outside your fridge door. So remove all the old notes and pictures and declutter that front surface. Maybe it's even magnets. Maybe you have a lot of magnets and you could declutter them. Next one is the top of the fridge. Lots of people put things on top of their fridge because it's a nice surface and it's up high possibly, but at times we need to then go declutter all the things that are on top of our fridge. Another area is excess cups. We get lots of cups given to us, maybe at Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays. And there's only so many cups that we can use at one time. So maybe it's looking at how many cups you actually need, removing out-of-date cans and spices from your pantry. You'd be surprised how quickly 2 or 3 years goes by and your spices, you haven't got to the end of it and the expiry date has come up. So the reason we get rid of the spices that are out of date is because they're then not the same quality as what they are when you buy them brand new. Looking at your cookbooks, which ones don't you use anymore? We use online so much more. I know myself, I use my Google Home and I also use my Thermomix ones. So there's lots of cookbooks I don't use. Another option could be to photocopy the ones that you really like. Maybe there's only 2 or 3 in a book and let the book go. Next one is excess plastic bags. I know here in Australia, plastic bags in our supermarkets have just been phased out recently. But now we have a replacement, which is excess paper bags, and they're a lot bulkier, they're harder to fold up, and they need a home. So we can look at how many, if we have a container and we put them in the container and there's excess that don't fit in the container, those are the ones that maybe we can place in our recycling. Platters hiding in the back of your cupboard, and platters take up so much space. Another great way to store your platters is to have an extra shelf. So those portable shelves that you can buy, and you could have some on top, some underneath, so it's easy to access them. But possibly you may have more than you actually need, and you may be able to let go of some. Utensil drawers. So going through our utensils, are there any there that you are broken? Are there any there that you don't use anymore? Or maybe you have multiple of each one. So you've bought one to replace something, but you never actually got around to letting go of the one that was broken or you prefer not to use. The last thing in our kitchen is looking at your kitchen bench. There's always clutter building up on people's kitchen benches. But what we want to do is maybe give it a home. So maybe it's a container or a lazy Susan. So it's that go-to spot that you want to get those things really easily, but it's not all over the bench. It's giving it a small section for those things to live. Our next area in our home for decluttering is our living room. So we could go through old magazines or newspapers that are maybe sitting at the end of a bench or in a magazine holder. DVDs you aren't going to watch again. Like most of us are using streaming services, and so you may not even have a DVD player. So possibly you could let go of those DVDs. What about random ornaments you don't even like? So maybe you've got things that you've got on display and they're just part of the furniture. You're not even really taking any notice of it. But just go in there with fresh eyes and have a look around and go, actually, I don't like that anymore, and let it go. Toys. Now, obviously, toys take up so much space in people's homes, and it's a really small amount of time, to be honest, when you think about it. And so looking at how you can embrace like a storage for, say, the Lego, how you can maybe look at having a rotation system. So you might have some in a garage or a spare cupboard, and you only have so much out on display and you swap it around. Kids love to have that variety. I know when I work with my own children in the past and I'd get things out and they'd be then really interested in it for about a week or two, and then I'd put it away, and when I brought it out again, it was like it was new again and a real novel. So thinking about if you can implement some sort of rotation for toys is a great idea. Maybe there's some that they're not using anymore and they're gone past that you can maybe let go of. Also looking at pieces, like small pieces like puzzles. Is there any puzzles that may be broken or they're lost pieces, and maybe letting those go or decluttering those? And the last one in our living room is books. Removing books that aren't maybe age appropriate for your children to read anymore. Maybe there's doubles, Or setting a limit is using your bookshelf and going, okay, we've only got this amount of space. This is all the books that we can actually store. Now let's move into the kids' bedroom. So looking at clothing, what clothes have they outgrown and what shoes have they outgrown? Or if you're like me, you might have a child who's quite sensitive to clothing and there's items that he would have and he refuses to wear because there might be a stitching that he doesn't like the feel of. He doesn't like how the hood sits. And so maybe looking at those clothes and letting those go because they're never, ever going to wear them. Then moving into your own bedroom. So you could look at your purse, putting cards back in the spots. Or maybe you have an app like Stowcard is one that I use. And so I don't even need the actual cards. You put them on the app and you're able to pull that up when you're in the shops. Making sure that you pull out any receipts that maybe you've got in your purse and getting rid of them or scanning them before if they're needed for tax purposes. The next one is your handbag and taking everything out and only putting back what you need. Like get rid of the wrappers, the tissues, hair ties, lip balms, extra hand creams. Take out all the receipts that maybe weren't even in your purse. And then maybe you just have a 1 or 2 pens, not 10. The next one in our bedroom that's a great decluttering is our underwear drawer and getting rid of the holey, saggy, uncomfortable undies and maybe even sorting them into everyday special occasions, matching, but taking anything out that does not fit. The next one is your sock drawer. And again, looking at throwing away the ones that are holes, elastic's gone, maybe there's not even a matched up pair for it. You may then sort them into colors or when you use them. Like for me, I have white ones for my work and I have black ones for sport. You might separate them into colors and have separate containers for them. And then looking at the shoes that you don't wear anymore and the shoes that maybe are broken or zips need replacing or that just don't fit you. Hats and scarves that you don't use, and then excess belts and bags. And the next one's a favorite is swimwear that you don't wear or that don't fit. I know I have a pair of bathers that I probably need to try on. It's a one piece from years ago when I did swimming lessons with my kids, and I probably could let them go now because I don't even think they fit me anymore. Winter jackets is another spot to have a look at. Are there any winter jackets that have maybe you've had for a really long time and they don't even fit anymore? Wedding dresses or formal dresses. And I know I have a wedding dress at the top of my wardrobe in a box that probably could let go of as well, unless you're keeping it for sentimental reasons. Is there excess coat hangers in your wardrobe? Maybe there's also the wire ones, which I recommend getting rid of because they do leave those marks on your clothes. Okay, let's move into the next area of the home in the bathroom. In your bathroom, looking at, is there any empty bottles of anything, or could you combine like a shampoo that's nearly finished into another one that's a new one? Looking at broken, old and gross brushes, like hair brushes, and recycle them. Look at your makeup. And I'm just going to go through. I did get these to help you. So powders, it's like a 3 years it suggests to keep them for. Liquid foundation, 1 year. Mascara, 3 to 4 months. Lipstick, 1 year. Blush, bronzer, 18 months. A cream like blush, 18 months. Eyeliner, 12 to 18 months. Liquid eyeliner, 6 months. Nail polish, 1 year. The reason we want to declutter our makeup is we don't want the bacteria. We don't want that spreading onto our face, into our eyes. So we need to make sure that we update those. Excess toiletries, especially if you've got all those little hotel ones. There's only so many of those that we need. And if we're going to hotels, we're going to get them again when we go the next time. Oh, another great one is moldy bath toys, getting rid of any of those that are sitting in your bathtub, old razors that are maybe sitting in your shower or in your bath as well. Let's now move into our laundry. So looking at towels with holes that are old and worn. Obviously, I have a few that I use for our dog and just spare in case someone's sick, but there's only so many towels that I need with holes. So looking at how many do you think is a reasonable amount that you need? cleaning products that maybe you don't use. So maybe you've had things in the past, but they've just been pushed to the back of the cupboard. Are there any of those that you can maybe let go of? Excess pillows seem to always build up in people's laundries. So looking at them, they actually have a print on them to tell you the date to actually let them go as well. Sheets that aren't in a set, or you don't have that size bed anymore. When I do go and declutter people's linen cupboards, I always find sheets and they're like, oh, we don't even have that size anymore. And so we let those go. Let's move into the study area for our final room of the house. So looking at pens that don't work, texters, highlighters, all of those, the random stationery that you never use. Maybe there's lots of notebooks. I always find people collect lots of notebooks but don't even use them. Excess cords. Maybe you've got like your cords for your different devices, but they've stored in the study. They could even be put in different areas of the home to help when you're needing to charge in those different areas. Maybe you've also got old computers, printers, old phones that don't work anymore. And it's always that graveyard of technology that I find in people's studies. I know it's probably a little bit more than 5 minutes because generally you need to find the cord. You then need to download it onto something and then you can get rid of it. So there's usually a few more steps. But the first step could be gathering those things together and looking for their cords so that you are halfway there. I'd love to know which one you're going to tackle first, which area in your home, and which ones you're going to pull out when you've got a few ad breaks and a little bit of time to squeeze in some decluttering. Thanks for listening to Simply Happy Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy Conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, then I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a review. This helps others find it who are also looking for tips and organisational strategies to simplify their life and prioritise their health. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss future episodes. You can also connect with me over at simplyhappy.com.au. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.